Today we're looking at extract, transform, and load tools. This is a utility that usually comes with a database, like Microsoft includes one with SQL Server called SSIS, SQL Server Integration Services. The one we're looking at here is an open source one from Pentaho Data Integration. It runs in Java and it's vendor agnostic. It works with multiple databases. They have a download section where you would download it and load it onto your computer. In this case, I've already done that and have the transform running. This transform takes work in process from one accounting software and converts it into a new application. So in this situation, it's jobs that are being worked on in a repair shop. So we have the customer, what the job description is, how many dollars have been logged in terms of material and labor, and then all that gets worked around and created, turned into a new job in the new ERP software. And in the middle, along the way, it needs to make these units. So a unit is what's being repaired in the shop. So it looks to see if we have any existing ones, and if the unit's already there, it doesn't worry about it. If it needs to be created, it goes ahead and makes the unit on the step here. So an ETL tool has three steps. You have the input side of it. On the far left side, you can see examples of inputs. On the actual transform, some stuff you can see here is coming from spreadsheets, and this in particular, this is the data coming from the old accounting software. Then in the middle, you have the transform steps, and here we have a number of transform steps involved. Some of them are merging things together. Others of them are calling some parts of code to make some changes, look up some variables or set some variables. And finally, the last thing that happens is the actual output step. And again, on the far left, you can see a number of different output steps built into the software. In the actual transform, we're outputting to these text files that are manually entered into the new software. Well, programs are used, but an intermediary format of the data. And then also, this is an output step. This is what's being called to make those units I was talking about, referred to earlier. So the data from the software coming in, what we expect to see here are what I was describing with the customers and their descriptions and what the job, a little description of the job and how many dollars are being booked to it. You can see that's what we've got. You have the customer's number. If they have a different ship to, what the customer's name is, description going on here. And if we look over to the right, you have that total labor and total material column, and we have the dollars filled in. So it is accounting software, and that's the purpose. We're taking work that's actually being done, we're converting in the middle of a bunch of work that the shop's doing. And finally, I talked about making those units. There's actually a list of those serial numbers in this column. So to stage this, to have it run a little more quickly during the video, I've already ran the script a couple of times, and I have 93 of the units already in the new software. So when we run the script, it's going to add an additional 5 units, so we should have a total of 98. So without further ado, let's go ahead and execute the script. You can see most of the steps have already executed once. When I hit the launch button here, all the green checks go away and it starts over, beginning at the left side and running through each of the transform scripts. Once it gets around to the unit script here, that's where it'll take just a second as it makes each of those 5 units. And we can track its performance by watching the checks. Oh, there we go. Just finished all 5 of them. But I was going to say we can also look down at the bottom under the step metrics. It tells you, how many records are passing between each step of the transform. So it finished and it made these 5 text files, and it also created those extra units. Let's go ahead and look inside the new software. We still have our 93 down here at the bottom. We'll refresh the list. So we now have 98, and it's the top 5 that it just added again. So that's kind of the basics of how an ETL tool works. This one's kind of this script kind of had a lot of steps, a lot of examples, or a lot of things to see in an example. It's a good one to view. Pretty powerful tools that save you from having to write like a manual program. You can actually just drag the objects around the screen and link them together and get the output that you want.